quarterback, number 8, Lamar Jackson.
Well, the day is here. The NFL honors have just concluded and Lamar Jackson has won the MVP for a second time. Now, Flock, I know this is not the celebration that we all had in mind when the playoffs started, but this comes as a consolation prize to some. This is further validation that Lamar Jackson is that man. In the beginning of the season, a lot of people doubted what he could do in a new offense that was more reliant on the pass, and he showed the world exactly who he is. He showed that he can affect the game with his legs and his arm. Yes, that means passing the ball. I know that he did not have the gaudy stats that most people look for when they look for an MVP. He didn't lead the league in passing yards. He didn't lead the league in rushing yards. He didn't lead the league in total touchdowns. But what he did do is he led the best team in the NFL. He orchestrated an offense that was in the top 10 his first year in a system, and in my personal opinion, a team that lacked weapons. Don't get me wrong, Zay Flowers was amazing, but outside of all the contenders that we see in the playoffs and conversely going to the Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson is lacking. He worked with what he had and he came out on the other side as the MVP of the league. This MVP may not be a unanimous one like it was in 2019, but it is an MVP nonetheless. I'm sure all the past MVPs are not sitting at home looking at that trophy saying, that's not unanimous. Take it back. Somebody come get this. And I know that this is not going to quiet all of the doubters. This is probably going to fuel their hate even more. And probably tomorrow, the rest of this weekend, next week, they're going to talk about his playoff failures. They're not going to celebrate this man for what he actually has done in the NFL. He is the third NFL player in over 100 years to win his second MVP under the age of 27, joining Jim Brown and Patrick Mahomes. And to me, that is amazing company. And I know that there are going to be other guys that they're going to say probably deserve this award even more, but they didn't watch Ravens games and they didn't take into account all that he could have done. I know Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen had about 15 rushing touchdowns this year to Lamar's 5. But Lamar is a very cognizant young man and is aware of the situation and aware of the people around him. So I know, or at least I heavily think that he knew Gus Edwards was in a contract year and needed to get the best numbers that he could to get the best contract that he could and maybe even return to the Ravens next season. So of Gus Edwards' 13 touchdowns, Lamar could have easily vultured at least 8 of them. But this is not the way that this young man is wired. He's worried more about wins than statistical gains. Now, fortunately, this year, the voters realized, hey, we don't need these stats. What we did was we used the eyeball test. We took the best player off the best team in the NFL. Postseason aside, this is a regular season award. So anything that happened after that, null and void. So what he did was he led his team to the best record. He led his team to a record 11 wins over teams with a winning record. He led a team and demolished some of the best teams in the NFL. Might I add once again, doing all this while in the first year with a new offensive coordinator. And I know that some are going to say, oh, he's a professional. He's been playing football a while. It shouldn't matter that he has a new offensive coordinator. Well, just today, I heard that Drake May from the University of North Carolina should be the #1 overall pick because he had a new offensive coordinator. That's why his numbers weren't the way that it was supposed to be. We can use an excuse for some, but we don't use that same excuse for all. So to me, with a new system and like I said, lack of weapons, Lamar did some amazing things. He passed for a career high 3,678 yards. And let's not forget, he sat out week 18 because they had everything clinched. So it's quite possible he could have thrown for 4,000 yards if he really wanted to. But combined with his rushing yards, and he led the team again, he's led the team in rushing every year that he's been a starter for the Ravens. So combined, he had almost 4,500 yards and 29 touchdowns. Let's not forget, if this was about statistics and not about winning, Lamar could have easily had 10 more touchdowns, guaranteed. But for me, I'm just proud of him. Congratulations, young man. Keep doing your thing. I believe you have a few more MVPs in your future. Now, is that to say regular season MVPs or Super Bowl MVPs? I do believe it's a combination of both. But this is truly an amazing night for Lamar fans, for the Baltimore Ravens. Congratulations, and more to come. Hopefully next year, Flock, when Lamar gets this award for the 3rd time, he will not be around to accept it because he will be preparing to play in the Super Bowl. So to all the guys that didn't make it, the ones that came oh so close to winning this award, listen, remember, you can always get Offensive Player of the Year. And that brings me to another point. Shouldn't Lamar have also won Comeback Player of the Year? He did miss a portion of the season with injury, and he came back to win the MVP award. From injury to MVP. If that's not a comeback, I don't know what is. All right, appreciate y'all for hanging out for me. Make sure you come back for more Ravens news. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you are fully aware when I come out with new videos. We got some things to talk about this off season. We have some topics to delve into. It ain't all gonna be pretty. It ain't all gonna be right, but it's a discussion. So until next time, y'all.